officials of the press, and members of the folk estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of His Excellency Dr. George Maria, President of the Republic of Liberia, we welcome Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to the celebration of the 175th Independence Anniversary of the Republic of Liberia under the theme, Fostering Unity, Protecting Our Peace for Development and Prosperity. This year also marks 200 years since the founding of the Republic of Liberia, and it is indeed an honor to have you all in this historic celebration. I shall now invite Apostle Samuel Cobb, President of the Liberia Fellowship of Folk Gospel, to invoke the presence of the Almighty.
So we'll take invocation.
Lord, we have gathered this day to celebrate our 105 years of existence as a nation. Lord, we thank you for granting us the privilege to see this day. We thank you, Lord, for the three branches of government. We thank you, God, for our international partners. We thank you for the folk estate. We thank you for the people. We thank you for Nigeria, Lord, as we celebrate this day. We invite your presence in our midst in the name of Jesus. Lord, we pray, oh God, thank you for the sustenance of our peace. We thank you for the religious community that we pray for the sustenance of peace. Lord, we pray for our government to ask for God in the today, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding to lead our nation to the unity in the name of Jesus. Lord, we declare that no weapon formed against our nation shall prosper. Every tongue that rise shall be condemned in judgment. Lord, we pray by your spirit, by your power, bring the authority of your hands. We still need to give up. Lord, we thank you for the visiting presidents that have come to celebrate our president, His Excellency Dr. George Manuel. Lord, we ask for you bless them, also bless the nation. We thank you, Lord, for our vice president. We thank you, Lord, for the judiciary. We thank you for the House of Senate. We thank you, Lord, for the House of Representatives. You bless them also. Lord, we ask that you will give them the wisdom, knowledge, and inner tenacity and the fortitude to lead this nation. Thank you, God, for blessing each and every of us. Bless Nigeria, bless the government, bless everyone. Lord, everything you will do today, let it go to the glory and honor of your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. God bless you.
So the invocation of the program has been done as President Joel Howard.
The national anthem by the
National anthem will be taking that's a record.
Thank you.
The national anthem has been taken. Honorable Florence Brandy, Superintendent of Maserati County, will do the welcome remark of this program. She takes the podium.
remember that only peace will protect our democracy and development. Unity is needed as a nation and for society. That every one of us, including the opposition, complement the effort of this government in protecting our democracy and uniting our country. In unity, our country will remain stronger. Now, therefore, on behalf of the peace-loving people of this great county, Missouri, the county that hosts the seat of national government with over 50% of the country's population, and the official host of this year's independence celebration with the theme of more fostering unity, protecting our peace for development and prosperity. It is my honor to welcome everyone to the official program marking our 175th independence celebration. Once more, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, you are most welcome. Thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity.
Madam Florence Bryant. She's the superintendent of Colorado County.
Student Judge Rouse from Liberia High School. We have Independence Day.
In grateful recognition of the blessings and miraculous deliverances village, hamlet, home, especially in the city of Liberia, Montserrat County, on Friday, July 22nd, 2022, and Sunday, July 24th, 2022. And I bring thanks and praises to God for his blessings showered upon us in past and present times, and beseeching him for his continuing goodness and beneficence towards all people and nations of the earth, especially the people of the Republic of Liberia. Given under my hand and sealed of the Republic of Liberia, in the city of Monrovia, county of Montserrat, this 27th day of June, in the year of our Lord, 2022, and of the independence of the Republic, the 175th, Dr. George Manavia, President of the Republic of Liberia. By order of the President, Selma E. Duncan Sawyer, Mistress, Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs. Thank you.
Wonderful hand of applause. The Declaration of Independence has been read.
As Caroline C. Wolfley, concerning administrative laws.
To say Mama Liberia, it's almost a privilege. Grateful I am to be here today. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks and appreciation to His Excellency, Dr. George Weir. And I believe that God gonna use His Excellency, Dr. George Weir, to heal, save, and unite and develop our beloved country, Mama Liberia. This piece right here is a familiar song, and I pray that it be a blessing to us all. If you believe and I believe, and we together pray, the Holy Spirit will come down, Liberia will be saved. If you believe and I believe, and we together pray, the Holy Spirit will show up, Liberia will be saved. Liberia will be saved. So Lord,
Ms. Sarah Avena Swami, student award international school, the introduce award.
Introduction of the orator of today's program. Sarah Avena will do the introduction, and then the speaker for today's program will come up. Maya Wintis, she's the Commerce Minister of the Republic of Liberia.
President of the Republic of Liberia, Madam Vice President, Honorable Joel Howard Taylor, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Barbara Chambers and members of the legislature, Mr. Chief Justice, Honorable Francis Hopper and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court of Liberia, Mr. President Pro Tempore, Honorable Albert Shipp, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am so very elated to stand here today to introduce to Liberia and the world a dynamic and enthusiastic woman of great feat. A woman who has and is still excelling at such a young age. A woman who we all as young people should get to know and learn from her work experience. The national artist this year was born in 1982 in Monrovia and spent some of her formative years in the United States of America, looking back to Liberia to complete her high school education at the College of West Africa. She holds a bachelor's degree in environmental policy from the Roanoke College, Salem, Virginia, and a Master of Education degree with specialization in counselor education from the Clemson University. She is also a PhD candidate at the National American University with specialization in higher education leadership. Her life has been one of dedication to the education and advancements of young people, using her acquired educational degrees in service to the development of the minds. Our national orator answered the call of duty to serve her government and people in 2018 first with the National Commission on Higher Education, where she introduced policies to ensure that institutions of higher learning consider more marketable courses in their curriculum to enable graduates to match the studies with the job market. She then moved on to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in 2019 as its Deputy Minister for Administration, where she encouraged team building to meet the needs of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well as the Liberian Foreign Service. She was later appointed to the Ministry of Commerce and Industry as its minister, a position she now holds, working to ensure a vibrant economy while at the same time setting standards for an inclusive business environment through commerce and trade. Prior to her decision to relocate to Liberia to transfer knowledge and render service to her country, the orator works over a span of 12 years in the field of higher education at Wofford College, Clemson University, University of Maryland, and Wayne County Community College districts, respectively, in the United States of America. Our national orator, in recognition of her services, receives many accolades for her outstanding performances and her dedication to duty to include the American Association for Women in Community Colleges, AAWCC, 40 Honor 40 Award, Wayne County Community College District Outstanding Service Award, the Michigan Chronicle Woman of Excellence Award, and the White House Communication Agency Certificate of Appreciation for her successful hosting of then Vice President of the United States, Mr. Joseph R. Biden, Jr. distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to welcome to this podium on this 175th Independence of the Republic of Liberia, the national orator, the Honorable Mawani Wata.
Introduction of the orator for today's independence program has been done.
President of the Republic of Liberia, Her Excellency Chief Dr. Joel Howard Taylor, Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Honorable J. Funati Kofa, Acting Speaker, and members of the House of Representatives, His Honor Francis Bobo, Senior Chief Justice and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court, Honorable Albert Chair, President Pro Tempore, and members of the Senate, His Excellency Umaru Sissoko Emalo, President of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau and Chair of the Authority of ECOWAS Heads of State and Government, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, Honorable Diomande Omagongo, Minister of Interior and Security of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, Dean and colleagues of the Cabinet, Dean and members of the Diplomatic Corps, officials of government, women and girls of Liberia, members of the religious community, chiefs, elders, and members of the Traditional Council, former officials of government, foreign guests, business leaders, market women, petty traders, students, members of the Fourth Estate, my fellow Liberians, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with immense pride, honor, and humility that I stand before you today as the national orator of our nation's 175th Independence Day anniversary. To God be the glory. When glass ceilings are shattered, playing fields are leveled, and you have a leader who believes in the empowerment of women, moments like these manifest the critical role women play in the fabric of this great nation. I say thank you. Thank you for continuously ensuring that women have a seat at the table and a voice in the transformation. Today, as I stand in the shoes of great people who came before me, I'm also reminded that I'm standing in the place of all the women and girls across Liberia who have served. Protecting our peace for development and prosperity. I am ever cognizant that a unified and peaceful Liberia comes first and foremost. That is why, regardless of political perspectives or social positions, Liberians home and abroad always celebrate this day with pride and in unison. So we have gathered here 175 years later in this historic hall to celebrate Independence Day. But what does that really mean? Have we come only for the pomp and pageantry, or have we also come with open minds willing to renew our commitment to forging ahead united as a nation? That, my fellow Liberians, is for you to decide. Mr. President, Madam Vice President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on an occasion of this nature, the expectation of the people is that the national orator, in addition to providing a soul-searching panoramic reflection of the nation's progress since independence and raising the consciousness of the population, will speak to their situation and inspire hope. Obviously, I've come to do nothing less, and to furthermore provide a religious picture and a practical approach of the way forward for this our sweet land of liberty. Let us begin with the concept of fostering unity, as depicted by the theme of this year's 175th Independence Day anniversary. When I think of the term unity, the concept of oneness, harmony, shared values, protection of rights, and citizen participation quickly come to mind. You see, there is a fundamental responsibility that comes with being citizens of this great nation. Therefore, unity must be entrusted to every Liberian and treated as the national fabric on which we gather as a collective, irrespective of our differences. It would be extremely naive of me to expect that we will all think or act the same, but we must be able to work as one in the interest of Liberia. Embracing the fundamental responsibility of unity begins with acceptance of the will of the people in a free and fair democratic space. For when the will of the people has been expressed, the question of leadership and who has the mandate to articulate the collective aspirations of the Liberian people is no longer up for debate. Understanding that fostering unity does not necessarily imply that everyone will consent, for democracy itself calls for the respect of individuals' viewpoints and to make choices from a wide range of options. But there must be respect for those whom the people have called upon to be their leaders. That, my fellow Liberians, is non-negotiable. So instead of fighting so hard to stay within the lines that we have drawn for ourselves under the umbrellas of ruling party, opposition, feminist groups, independent civil society organizations, and numerous other auxiliary groupings which exist, we as Liberians should instead exert half of that energy to building bridges and pathways to continuously fostering unity, which will in turn protect our hard-earned peace for development and prosperity. My fellow Liberians, we often take for granted the weight of our individual titles and how it is perceived by those around us and those observing from a distance. For those perceptions come with a level of expectation. Let me give you a recent example. While walking and interacting with the people of Ganta at the just-ended cabinet retreat, a little boy, I believe to be between the ages of 9 to 12, approached me and said, "Auntie, I want to ask you something now." So me, I said, "Okay, what is it?" And he proceeded and said, "Auntie, what's all those plenty people doing inside there?" As funny and direct as his question was, it was a sharp reminder to me that whenever national leaders gather, regardless of the intent, there is a reasonable expectation that they are discussing matters that would affect the lives of the common people. Therefore, I went on to explain to Little Young that the president had called all the people who he had asked to help him run his government to sit down and look at what they have done and how they can make plans to do more. Jan smiled and said, "Thank you, Auntie, for my recess vote." So I laughed. I gave him his blessing for his recess and away he went to run it. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, what appeared to be a fleeting moment of curiosity for Little Young is an ongoing question for many across our great nation. What are these people all doing here? Better yet, what are we, with all of our self-proclaimed titles and accolades, doing for our beloved country, Liberia? Even at this very moment, as we sit here all elegantly dressed up in our national colors, partaking in the pomp and pageantry, there are those still wondering, what are all those people doing there? More than likely, if you ask a passerby, they will say, "You don't know today, 2060, where someone is elected to speak to the nation and will either criticize the government, blast the opposition, or do both." But unfortunately for persons out there listening, watching, or currently seated in this hall, the theme of this day dispenses me of that burden. As fostering unity, protecting our peace for prosperity and development, no knows no one individual, no political side, no tribe, and no religion. It is a charge to keep for each and every Liberian far and near. Therefore, I will spend the next few minutes resisting the temptation of restating our problems and challenges, but instead focus on how far we have come as a nation and subsequently remind us of our collective responsibility to go even further. Liberia has made enormous strides over the years. We have now moved in the direction of overcoming the perils of the war and the destruction it left in its tracks. I'm sure some of us still remember the ethnic and political cleavages of the polarized nation we once had, one that valued identity over patriotism and engaged in systemic exclusion and malfeasance. This eventually led to one of Africa's most brutal civil wars, which wiped out a significant portion of our country's population. Unfortunately, the youth of our country were the main implementers of these heinous crimes that occasioned the brutality simply because they were mostly illiterate and easy to manipulate. Years after major hostilities ceased, the subsequent effects of the socio-economic decline the war caused is still very apparent. This is mainly in the form of thousands of disadvantaged youth who roam the streets living a life of drugs and crime. However, I can proudly delight in saying that this government has now planned a more suitable program intended to help ameliorate their lives. This is definitely a fine cry through years of lip service politicians have thrown out what potentially is an existential crisis for our country. This brings me to the point of urging our leaders in every sector, particularly my colleagues in government, to desist from romanticizing the genuine challenges we face. It is a known fact that these are inherited challenges, but by assuming the roles that we have today, we have each made a conscious choice to commit to alleviating these challenges in support of the President's pro-poor agenda for prosperity and development. Let us therefore resist the desired attempt to show off our literary brilliance and instead act. Let us work for the people of Liberia. Let us ensure that such actions manifest in every sector, including respect for the rights of women. Our nation is currently acclaimed for breaking the glass ceiling in this regard. Therefore, we must continue to forge ahead and not pay lip service or relegate. That, my fellow Liberians, would be a true travesty. Our President, His Excellency Dr. George Weah, is often heard saying, without peace, our world would be difficult. And for me, this statement always serves as a strong reminder of the importance of protecting our peace as a nation, considering that 20+ years after the end of the Civil War, we're still experiencing the effects in terms of lingering social and infrastructural deficits. The major responsibility of every government is the maintenance of peace. For us in Liberia, this is an uncompromising common good. No democracy can thrive, no development can take place, and the welfare of the citizenry cannot be served if peace is not guaranteed. Therefore, the maintenance of peace is not solely the responsibility of the governments in power. The opposition has such equal responsibility as does each and every Liberian citizen, including foreign. My fellow Liberians, peace is a prerequisite for development as a whole because it creates an enabling environment for the fundamentals of societal progress, which are infrastructural development, free market structures, and the rule of law. When there is an absence of peace, key sectors such as education and health break down. Critical systems to enable nationwide development all crumble. Peace preserves additional resources, both human and financial, which left unabated would otherwise be used to instill violence. We are all aware by now that peace and development go hand in hand. The more peaceful a nation, the more prosperous, stable, and developed it shall be. For the many years of civil conflict all my generation witnessed was sustained destruction of properties, loss of lives, a tarnished national image, and lowering of our self-esteem. This left left many to wonder if development could ever take place amidst all these conditions. Nevertheless, Liberians demonstrated a strong will, a nationalistic spirit, courage in the face of unsurmountable challenges, and set aside their differences to choose peace over conflict, which allowed our nation to move forward. With the fresh air of peace over the land, our democracy was restored and the rebuilding of our nation commenced. Peace, my fellow Liberians, is not and has not been the absence of war or violent conflict. Rather, it is the presence of a fully functioning society which provides opportunities and equal participation in the national space. There is peace when development is in every form is spread to every nook and cranny of Liberia. There is peace when access to education is a matter of rights and not privilege. There is peace when health care is accessible to all by the increased number of medical facilities and referral hospitals beyond the capital city. There is peace when Liberians, regardless of location and medium, can freely express themselves without having to fear for their lives. Oh yes, there is peace when there is equal participation in the political landscape of the country, where the mandate and choices of the people are respected. And because there is peace, we are experiencing waves of development across the country. Whether you and I choose to acknowledge it or not, the development is quite visible. But since the Constitution reserves the right for only the President to deliver the State of the Nation, where he would detail said ways of development, I will refrain from abrogating that authority and stick to my task of reminding us about protecting our peace and development. Ladies and gentlemen, at 175 years of independence, our country is still challenged in many regards. This is not what we are proud of, but neither are we ashamed. With every challenge comes the opportunity for Liberians to demonstrate true patriotism and sincere love for country. Our political history reminds us that Liberia was a founding member of many international and multinational organizations. The challenges that faced the world then, which necessitated the formation of such organizations, are still confronting the world today, and Liberia is no exception. Prosperity and development resonates from sound leadership, uncommon vision, bringing citizens along in the governance process, fiscal probity, zero tolerance for corruption, and accountability. Nevertheless, prosperity and development is not achieved overnight, nor are they instantaneous outcomes. They are outcomes of bold leadership and prudent decision-making, which brings me to the not-so-favorable topic of modus operandi in terms of donor support in the form of direct budget support for donor-implemented projects. Mr. President, Madam Vice President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we actively engage in the development of our country, I believe it is now time that we sit as partners and fully examine the impact of these donor-sponsored loans and grants in order to assess the true impact on the lives of our country. What goes into deciding how projects are determined or selected? Where and what part of the country are those projects implemented? And under whose authority are those monies expended? Let me boldly say that in terms of addressing governance and accountability concerns, we have done everything as a nation, from changing governments to fighting a senseless war, firing ministers and heads of agencies, voting new members of legislature, but yet the one thing that remains constant is the mode of operation of donor funding, regardless of the government in power or the lack of tangible impact. This must change. Accountability must be on all sides. If we were to pause for a moment and request the dollar value of the total amounts in donor funding over the last decade or two, whether in the form of loans or grants, I'm certain it would be several billions of dollars. Yet if we were to match that with the corresponding impact, we will all agree to be valuable partners in keeping our peace and promoting our development agenda. However, in partnership, there must be honest exchanges and flexibility in operations to truly support the agenda of a nation. Perhaps the level of bureaucracies in the approval and procurement processes and the excessive control over these projects can lead to reduced impact and subsequently shift the pressure back to government. who in most instances have little or no control over these projects, but yet are held accountable for the dollar value of each project. On average, it takes half of a presidential term, if not a whole term, to get a donor-funded project signed, implemented, and completed. This, I'm certain, needs to be looked at critically. To my colleagues of the cabinet and heads of agencies and corporations, we have a crucial role to play in helping the president deliver on his pro agenda for prosperity and development. This must never be taken for granted. It is an expectation that the children and the people of Liberia benefit from the decisions we make and the impact those decisions have on their lives. We must all strive to reduce the bottlenecks associated with implementation of these donor projects. As those delays against the delivery of these projects, my fellow Liberians, we celebrated the formation of our country and the richness of its history. This was only possible due to the sustained peace we have enjoyed and the togetherness that country. All Liberians should be credited for the resilience the country has exhibited over the last 2 centuries. Together we have faced and fought many foes with much power, be it political, social, or economic. Recently, like the rest of the world, we even triumphed over a major global pandemic. This is a testament to the Liberian spirit of patriotism and determination for which we must all be proud. Nevertheless, we as a people must not forget the price paid by leaders of generations before us and the sacrifices they made to give us what we now have as Liberia. It is important to know that irrespective of our differences and the unfettered freedoms we enjoy daily, we must never return our nation to its darkest past. I want to thank the National Legislature for the passage of an amendment to the Anthem and Nationality Law. Thank you for the act of full citizenship, which I believe is long overdue, but as they say, it's always better than citizenship. It is on this land that our forebears lived in freedom after years of service and bondage. This is where the roots have been planted. Although the last 2 decades brought with it political, social, and economic crises, giving rise to the exodus of some of our compatriots, they have never ceased their support and love to the motherland. They say home is where the heart is. This is indeed the land of return for all Liberians. Once Liberian, always a Liberian. No law should have to separate brothers from brothers. We all have a stake in whatever direction this country takes, and it is therefore our collective responsibility to ensure that Liberia regains its rightful place among the economy of the nation. It is with this charge that I feel an obligation to address how we, as individual citizens, portray our nation to the outside world. What we say matters, but most importantly, what we do is what will ultimately make the difference. Honestly, it is quite simple to sit behind a computer, or better yet, call into a radio or online show to spew negatives about Liberia. But let me tell you this today. Such actions do not demonstrate strength, courage, or love for nation. Quite the contrary. It demonstrates weakness, arrogance, and lack of patriotism in face of opportunities to live and live Today is about fostering unity, protecting our peace for development and prosperity. And as the good book reminds us, there is a time for everything under the heavens. So we as a people must learn to be patriotic, even while we're waiting for our time. Patriotism is defined as the feeling of love, devotion, and sense of attachment to one's country. My fellow Liberians, can we come? Because at times I do wonder if we as Liberians truly understand what it means to be patriotic. 175 years of independence and 200 years of existence requires a different level of boldness. So let me take a moment to address our self-proclaimed social media and talk show heroes who are constantly disguising self-dignified and arrogant. Understand that your criticism without proffering of solutions or actions It's just another level of peace. So as you use your individual platforms to point out the ills of our Liberian society, I challenge you to demonstrate your love for country by not just words, but also actions that make a difference in the lives of everyday Liberians. For the country's image you so easily tarnish today is the same country you desire to lead tomorrow. So for the sake of the love for nation as proclaimed, let us unite in the midst of our differences and move Liberia forward so that if you are ever given an opportunity to lead, you will inherit a wholesome nation, not one divided based on personal interest or political ambition. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my selection to serve as your national orator today was not a mistake. I am a clear demonstration of what happens when preparation meets opportunity. I proudly stand here today as a 39-year-old, highly educated single mother who challenged herself to leave her homeland, prepared both educationally and professionally to return home and contribute to her nation. I represent every individual who has ever had to make hard choices and sacrifices for family, love of country, and humanity. I represent every woman and girl who the world doubted her ability to lead. I represent a generation determined to change the landscape of this country. And most importantly, I represent the product of every mother who has sacrificed to give her child a better opportunity. When I think about the future of Liberia, I think about what lies in store for children like my 5-year-old daughter Mariella and little Ya of Hunter City. There can be no wavering when it comes to fostering unity, protecting our peace for development and prosperity. So for every one Liberian who chooses not to step up and make an impact in this country, trust and believe there are many willing to step up to the challenge and make a difference. My fellow Liberians, as Abraham Lincoln once said, a house divided against itself can never stand. Therefore, let us celebrate our nation's 175th independence anniversary and our bicentennial year, remembering that a collective effort must be put forth in order to move Liberia forward. On this day, as the national orator of Liberia's 175th independence anniversary, my proclamation to the world is that the Liberian story will no longer be one of political strife, underdevelopment, disease, or poverty. Instead, it will be one of unity, development, economic stability, and prosperity. Happy Independence Day. Thank you.
National orator of today's program, Madam Marvin Disk, spoke on several issues affecting the people of Liberia and also what government do to curb some of those situations. So it's a colorful event here. National orator has been asked to stand right here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Citation by His Excellency Dr. George Manuel, President of the Republic of Liberia, for the conferral of the distinction of Dan Grampan, Humane Order of African Redemption, upon Mawani Bata Deeds, Minister of Commerce and Industry, July 26, 2022. Mawani Bata Deeds, Administrator, Distinguished Public Servant. You were born on July 29, 1982, onto the union of Mr. Lionel Dix and Mistress Samantha Dixon in Monrovia, Liberia. You began your early childhood education at the St. Peter's Lutheran School in Monrovia before moving to the United States, where you attended the Rolling Terrace Elementary School and the Eastern Middle School, respectively, in the state of Maryland. You subsequently returned to Liberia and enrolled at the J.J. Rivers United Methodist School and later the College of West Africa, where you obtained your high school diploma in 1999. You traveled back to the United States of America and were admitted to the Rugner College in Salem, Virginia, graduating with a bachelor's degree in environmental policy in the year 2006. You became active in student activities, serving as president of the student government. You were a chapter member of the college chapter of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Went on to obtain a Master of Education with specialization in consular education and graduated in 2009 from the Clemson University in South Carolina. You are currently a PhD candidate at the National American University with specialization in higher education leadership. Prior to returning home to Liberia, to be of service to your beloved homeland through your functions in the government of Liberia, you worked over a span of 20 years in the field of higher education at Wofford College, Clemson University, University of Maryland, and Wayne County Community College District. You thereafter moved to Detroit in 2011. Where you became the president and chief academic officer of the Eastern Campus in Michigan's Wayne County Community College District. In your role as president and chief academic officer, Eastern Campus Wayne Community College District, you planned, organized, coordinated, developed, directed, administered, and evaluated student services and instructional programs, resources, and activities for approximately 24,000 credit and non-credit students. You provided leadership in areas involved in the delivery and administration of comprehensive programs and executed a direct operational budget of US $1,500 and supervised 754 full-time and part-time employees. You are the recipient of the American Association for Women in Community Colleges Awards, Honor 40 Awards. Wayne Community College District Outstanding Service Award, the Michigan Chronicle Women of Excellence Award, and the White House Communication Agency Certificate of Appreciation for your successful hosting of the then Vice President of the United States, Mr. Joseph R. Biden Jr. Following your return to Liberia, you were in October of 2018 appointed by President George Manuel as Director General of the National Commission on Higher Education, becoming the first woman to serve that commission. You begin your tenure at the Commission calling on institutions of higher learning to develop curriculum specifically tailored for the present-day job market in Liberia. Your tenure at the National Commission of Higher Education was short when you accepted the call of the President of Liberia to join the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as Deputy Minister for Administration, where you worked with the team you met to ensure adherence to organization structures, compliance with the civil service and other HR policy, and planning and executing the annual budget in line with the PFA law, amongst others. You also ensure that Liberia's foreign mission will fully supported and functional with the relevant logistics and perform their duties. Still in your service to the country, you accepted the call and was named and appointed as Liberia's Minister of Commerce and Industry in October 2020. In many years of service, both at the national and international levels, you strive to create sound policies for commerce and international trade, which facilitates private sector growth and innovations while setting standards that will protect all consumers and revitalize the economy. Your focus at the Ministry of Commerce and Industry have been on the promotion and development of industrial enterprises, support of small and medium enterprises, the establishment and regulation of commodities and trade standards, the collection, evaluation, and the publishing of data pertaining to commerce and industry, the strengthening of the intellectual property regime, and the overall improvement of the economy. You currently serve as the co-coordinator of the G7 plus WTO Ascension Group and are the most recent outgoing chairperson of the Councils of Ministers of the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization, in addition to being a member of the Board of Directors of several public corporations and state-owned enterprises. On 2 occasions, while His Excellency Dr. George Manoria, President of the Republic of Liberia, traveled out of the country, you were appointed to chair the cabinet in consultation with the Vice President and in full consultation with the President. You have also ably represented the President of Liberia as a special envoy to deliver a special message to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, therefore, in recognition of your invaluable and selfless commitment to humanity, the Republic of Liberia, and international community, I, Dr. George Manoria, President of the Republic of Liberia, by the authority vested in me as Grand Master of the Orders of Distinction, do hereby admit you into the Immune Order of African Redemption with the grade of Dan Grand Band, where this is signaled with pride and dignity to the glory of God. Congratulations.
heads of state and government, His Excellency Muhammad Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, Honorable Chief Dr. Juema Taylor, Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Mr. Acting Speaker, and members of the Honorable House of Representatives, Honorable President Pro Tempore, and members of the Honorable Senate, His Honor Chief Justice, Associate Justices, and members of the Judiciary, former officials of government, Honorable Mawani Wata Beach, National Orator, July 26, colleague members of the Cabinet, General Diobande Agondo, Minister of Interior and Security, and Special Representative of His Excellency Mr. Alassane Ouattara, President of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, Honorable Jefferson Tamakoji, Lord Mayor of the City of Monrovia, Honorable Florence Brandon, Superintendent of Montserrat County, Honorable Molba Kemulu, Chairman and the Governing Council of the ruling Mighty Coalition for Democratic Change, political and business leaders, other officials of government, the UN and members of the diplomatic corps, heads of the United Nations and international organizations, chiefs and elders of the Traditional Council of the Republic of Liberia, civil society organizations, bishops, prelates, and members of the clergy, members of the full ethnic, fellow citizens and residents, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. 175 years ago, Liberia, Africa's oldest republic, was founded. We have come through good and challenging times, including 14 years of the brutal civil conflict. Liberians have shown resilience in overcoming many challenges in their quest for maintaining peace and restoring stability. We must, first of all, give praise to the Almighty God for His benevolence and whose powerful hand graciously continue to guide our nation. Your Excellency, Mr. President, please allow me to pay special recognition to the heads of state and government and representatives of other heads of state and government who have come to join you and the people of Liberia to commemorate and celebrate this momentous occasion. We are gratified. Consequently, and concomitant with this high demonstration of goodwill, the following sovereigns, heads of state and government, and heads of regional and sub-regional organizations have joined in transmitting messages of felicitation to you, Mr. President, your government, and the Republic of Liberia. His Excellency Lazarus Makate Chongwara, President of the Republic of Malawi, His Excellency Dr. Julius Manabio, President of the Republic of Serbia, His Majesty Philip VI, King of Spain, His Excellency Mr. Mohamed Bazoum, President of the Republic of Niger, His Excellency Mr. Alexander Van Dam Berlin, Federal President of the Republic of Austria, His Excellency General the Honorable David Holly, ACDFC retired, Governor General of the Commonwealth of Australia, His Excellency Mr. Duda, President of the Republic of Poland. His Excellency Mr. Ignacio Cassis, President of the Swiss Confederation. His Excellency Mr. Margaret D. Hagen, President of the Republic of Ireland. His Excellency Patrice Talon, President of the Republic of Benin. His Excellency Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation. His Excellency Antamina Siku Ramaphosa, President of the Republic of South Africa. The Honorable Joseph Arab Biden Jr., President of the United States of America. Our Excellency Madam Halima Yacoub, President of the Republic of Singapore. His Holiness Pope Francis, Head of the Vatican. His Excellency Joko Widodo, President of the Republic of Indonesia. His Excellency Mr. Miguel Dan Canal Gamundez, President of the Republic of Cuba. His Excellency Juan Isozina Yazeki, President of the Republic of Togo. His Excellency Mr. Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China. Our Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of the United Kingdom. His Excellency Miro Iman, President of the Czech Republic. His Excellency Mr. Alassane Ouattara, President of the Republic of Liberia. His Excellency General Michel Aoun, President of the Republic of Lebanon. His Excellency Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt. His Excellency Mr. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations. His Excellency Dr. Omar Ali Toure, President of the ECOWAS Commission. His Majesty Carl Gustav R. King of Sweden. His Excellency Mr. Emmanuel Macron, President of the French Republic. His Excellency Mr. Macky Sall, President of the Republic of Senegal. His Excellency General Prayut Chan-o-cha, retired Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Thailand. His Excellency Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, President of the Portuguese Republic. His Majesty Ahmed bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain. His Excellency Abdi Mahdi, His Excellency Abdi Mahdi G. Daboum, President of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria. And Right Honorable Hussein Bahadur Juba, Prime Minister of Nepal. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, these are leaders that have sent messages of congratulations. As we speak, messages continue to pour in from other world leaders. We now have the distinguished honor to do recognition of special guests attending the Independence Day celebration, the 175th, along with Your Excellency, Mr. President. His Excellency Umaru Sissoko Mbalo, President of Guinea-Bissau and Chairman of the Honorable His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, President of the His Excellency Anaman Barrow, President of the Republic of Ghana. Thank you. General Yambani Lagondo, Minister of Interior and Security, and fellow representative of His Excellency Mr. Alfred Osama, President of the Republic of Liberia. Thank you. Mr. President, with your indulgence, we now use this time to recognize all other leaders and distinguished personalities that have come and have joined His Excellency in gracing this occasion, commemorating 175th anniversary, independence anniversary. And on purpose, last but not least, we invite and recognize His Excellency, our new President, Dynamic President of the ECOWAS Commission, Mr. President. Thank you. May I have this? Your Excellency, the Foreign Minister of Senegal, representing the President, Mr. President, I now have the distinguished honor to call His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
General Buhari, as he is called by many Nigerians across Nigeria. General Buhari will take the podium.
Let me begin by thanking my Excellency, my brother and your brother, Senior President of the Republic of Liberia, for the kind invitation to attend this Liberia after enjoying the landmarks of the region. guys are existing. The invocation system, the country, the opposition system, again, nothing but very comfortable society. On behalf of myself, government and people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I convey our warmest congratulations to your Excellency, government, and people of Nigeria in commemorating this landmark. Your Excellency, the history of the new Liberia remembers you because of your love of the country and the pursuit of peace, unity, and progress. Dictated before orientated progress in the great extent of the sole power, taking Liberia to greater heights within the limited resources available. As we celebrate your country's 176th anniversary of Independence Day, while advertising express my joy and the privilege of personally attending and witnessing this occasion. My attendance at this historic event we assure your Excellency, our Liberian brothers and sisters, Nigeria's strong belief in strengthening the bond of unity that exists in our two countries.
The President of Nigeria, His Excellency General Muhammadu Buhari, he's very, very much low for where we are.
1989 to 1997, with a period that Nigeria invested hugely for peace in Liberia, indeed stability in the rest of the efforts of the country. The glory never resulted in our country. We happily celebrate the 170th independence anniversary, as well as the 200 years of Liberia's nation. We are confident to underscore that so much concerted efforts are still needed to deal with the problem of the growth of Liberia. We are excellent the government in 2018, as well as the recently introduced empowerment program, targeted comprehensively addressing the problems of youth restlessness in Nigeria and equally aimed at addressing the needs programs, including violence, drug addiction, and other social violence, and improving them into meeting members of the Liberian society. Really, very appropriate because lift up the most vulnerable in the Liberian society. We are coming to me to assure you that all Liberians, Nigeria is a good country, and I represent the head will continue to support you in this effort to do the work of our nation. This is very important. The need for strengthening and broadening the levels of collaboration and cooperation both bilaterally and multilaterally using efforts at peculiar and united and other recommendations sub-regional and global challenges. Your Excellencies, Liberia, Nigeria, and for the three national elections in 2030. In Nigeria, we are working for free, fair, transparent, credible, and acceptable outcome of elections and their results, which is important and necessary for all our country to key into being resolved. we must strengthen our efforts to guarantee the increased possibility of democracy in our community and Africa. I wish to conclude by once again congratulating my Excellency and the people of Liberia very warmly on this anniversary of your national independence and pray for peace, stability, development, and growth to Liberia beyond another 175 years. I thank you all for listening.
General Buhari is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you, Excellency President Buhari. We recognize Your Excellency Mrs. Asaka Tom, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Senegal, who is serving as the President of Senegal. We just being informed by the Office of the Vice President of visiting delegation from Belize and Germany. As we stated earlier, we will welcome and recognize as all other guests who are here visiting for this program. Dr. Omar Aliu Toure, President of the ECOWAS Commission, accompanied His Excellency the President of Guinea-Bissau and Chair of the Authority of ECOWAS Heads of State in Norway. We now invite His Excellency Mr. Umaru Sissoko Mbalo, President of Guinea-Bissau and Chair of the Authority of ECOWAS, to make special remarks. Following that, the acting team of protocol, thank you.